Fenway singing Nessun Dorma there. He is a rock opera singer-songwriter, and tomorrow his voice will soar above the crowd at Fenway Park. Alexander Kariotis will be singing the National Anthem at tomorrow's game at Fenway on Lou Gehrig Day, and that day is something that has a special meaning for him, and Alexander is here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
You know, so you are a rock opera singer-songwriter, and that's a type of music that, you know, it's not really mainstream. We don't hear it when we put on the radio. So tell me about how you got involved with that sort of music.
Well, you know, I didn't start off, you know, as a little kid growing up to become a rock opera singer. You know, just like a lot of kids in high school, I was singing in choirs and so forth, but it was because of my older brother, Tony. He was a rock singer himself, and I was trying to follow in his footsteps, so I was singing rock shows and so forth and so on. That was really the beginning of my path.
And you were telling me a little bit that you're actually a trained opera singer.
Yeah.
So how did you end up fusing the two styles together?
It really was because of my brother, Tony. You know, he was my mentor, my father figure. My parents got divorced when I was a young kid, and he really just took over, you know, took over my life, which was wonderful. And he was, like I said, he was semi-famous. He had a couple albums out, and the band was really touring all over the Midwest, and I was this little kid. He would let me open up for him. We'd do shows beforehand, and one day I sat down to him, I said, you know, this is what I want to do. I want to be a rock singer, you know, I want to be just like you. And he looked at me and said, you can't. And it broke my heart. Yeah. I thought, you know, and what he was saying was he thought that I had something more in my voice that I didn't even hear myself. And that's kind of how the whole thing started out.
And I know, of course, Tony ended up developing Lou Gehrig disease, and I can only imagine how difficult that was for you. I mean, walk me through a little bit what that journey was like.
It was horrendous. You know, I had yeah, it's very hard to not get emotional about it. You know, he was in Los Angeles pursuing his dream. I was working as an opera singer and living in New York and flying back and forth. I was kind of living this dual life. I would do an opera in New York. They'd fly me out to Los Angeles. I'd put on leather pants and a guitar, and I'd be at the Sunset Strip, you know, playing songs with him. And when he died, his disease was all of a sudden, and we didn't know what happened. And a couple years later, that was it. He was gone.
It's so difficult, and of course tomorrow being Lou Gehrig Day at Fenway Park, you're supposed to be singing the anthem. Yeah. Hopefully the weather holds out for you.
Of course, it's going to rain, right?
But what does that mean to you to be there for that day, especially?
It's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity, first off, just to be singing at Fenway. I mean, what an iconic place to be at, you know? And then also to be doing it on such an important day. Lou Gehrig, you know, represents a lot to the people who are fighting for this disease. And you know, it's going to be very emotional for me too, because I'm not only singing for myself and for my family and for my brother, but all the other people who are there supporting that as well.
And I know that this, of course, isn't your first time singing the anthem at a ballpark. You've done it in Chicago before.
I did it in Chicago, yeah.
It just must be an amazing experience.
It really is. You know, it seems like I can't do the national anthem without some sort of emotional thing attached to it, because I'm originally from Chicago. And walking out on that field and looking where my brother and I used to sit with my families, you know, it's very hard. I had a lot of friends in the audience, and, you know, friends who were trying to be supportive, you know, reminding me not to mess up the words and all that. They were.
It's important.
Yeah, it is.
Well, quickly, I wanted to talk about your album just briefly, but I know you have an album out. And what is that project all about? I know that it has, you know, something to do with you wanting to give back.
Yeah, the album is really a combination of opera arias infused with original rock music that I write, and it's an exclusive on Amazon. It just came out. We're very excited about it. And also, you know, when we do this music, it's really touching a lot of people. It's been an amazing response. And also on the album, I have two collaborations from two iconic musicians. David Sanborn, the jazz saxophonist, who won, you know, multiple Grammys. He's on there. We did a song together. And also, way on the other side of the musical spectrum, Daryl DMC McDaniels from Run DMC. We did a remix of one of my tunes also. So
runs the gamut.
Yeah, it really does. But it's been really it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Alexander, for coming in for us today, and good luck at Fenway tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.